Okay, so today we're going to be replacing the front brake pads, and it's got a 5.7 1500. So I got the wheel taken out. Got my jack right there. Got it jacked up right here. I got two jack stands in the front just to be safe. So we got two bolts here. I think that is I think that's a 12. Let's see. Actually, it's a 13 millimeter. Yeah. So it's a 13. So you got two 13 millimeter bolts here, one here, one here. We're gonna take the bolts off. But before we do that, we're gonna try. This is a dual piston caliper. We got one piston here, one piston here. So I'm going to show you really quick how you can compress that. Now, before you compress it, make sure that you have your cap popped off. And if you got too much fluid in there, when you compress the piston, the fluid's going to leak out. So you want, if you have too much fluid in the reservoir, you might want to take some off. Okay, so there's two ways to compress the piston. You could remove the whole caliper out. Then you can use two C-clamps here and right here, or you can try to pry it out from the pads. Don't pry it out from the caliper piston, because you're gonna damage it. So you're gonna put your screwdriver here and then here, and we're gonna slowly try to pry it out. Make sure you're prying it from the brake pads, not in the actual piston. Okay, the other method is you can put your C-clamp right here. You see that brake line right here? Just make sure you're not touching that. You don't want to damage that. C-clamp here. You just try to retract it back. Okay, so we're gonna compress it at the same time. Just keep turning it until it's pushed back all the way. And while you're doing this, you want to keep an eye on your brake fluid reservoir. Make sure that the brake fluid is not overflowing. Okay, almost there. All right, once you feel it stop, you can see the piston push back all the way. If you look right here, and go ahead and take your C-clamps off. Check that it's pushed in all the way. Alright, now we're going to use a 13 millimeter take these two bolts out. Two bolts out. Now we're going to slide the caliper out all the way. I have this little hook that we're going to use. Just going to hang it like that. So while you have the caliper out, go ahead and just clean this out. If you have a metal brush, just scrape off all the old brake dust off of it. So we got our brake pads out. And go ahead and spray this off too. See these two pins? Usually I would take them out, clean him out, and put new grease inside this rubber piece, but this one is still sliding good. I don't see any leak or tear on the boot, on the rubber piece, so we're just gonna leave that alone for now. Alright, so we got our new brake pads. These are old brake pads. The new one. Make sure they're the same, and then we're gonna go ahead and slide this little guide pins. Okay. So I got my brake pads in there. Let me show you how it went in. So you're gonna, this tab right here at the bottom. So this is what it looks like. And then the top's the same way. Same for this side. Just make sure they're in there, that they're sitting flush. Okay, so we're just gonna apply a little bit of grease over here in the brake pads. Alright, I'm gonna take this off. When you're putting in your caliper back on, make sure you don't have your brake line all twisted the wrong way. So we're just gonna slide our new piston, our caliper in. This one we might have to compress it a little bit more. This is not going in. If you do have to compress it more, make sure you put your old brake pads in between the caliper piston. okay. Okay, so we got 2 bolts, one at the top and one at the bottom here. Just gonna hand tie them. Just make sure they're spinning freely, hand tight. And you can go ahead and tighten it. If this bolt right here, when you're trying to tighten it or trying to loosen it, if it's spinning with it, just grab something the right size of open-end wrench and put it against here so it's not spinning. There we are. Okay. Spinning freely, nothing's binding on the rotor. That's it. And check everything, check your bolts. Here's our new brake pads in here. Go ahead and spray some more brake cleaner all over it. Do the same on the other side. If you have to top off your brake fluid, go ahead and top it off. Now before you start up the truck, you need to sit inside and pump the brake pedal about 5-6 times until you feel the brake pedal getting hard. Then you can crank up the truck and then take it for a spin. That's all there is to it. If this video helped you, click the like button. If you got any questions, comment below. And again, thank you for watching.